The jungle was silent, except for the soft rustling of palm leaves and the distant cry of a bird. Sunlight filtered through the thick canopy above, casting moving shadows on the damp forest floor. It was in this forgotten corner of the world that fate brought together two completely different souls, a soldier and a nun, trapped in a wild, unforgiving jungle with no sign of rescue in sight. Captain Arjun Mehra had been on a mission with his unit when their helicopter was caught in a sudden storm. The wind howled, the rain poured like bullets, and within minutes, the aircraft spiraled out of control and crashed deep into the forest. Arjun survived, bruised and battered, but alone. His radio was dead, his compass useless, and his only option was to keep moving, hoping to find some sign of civilization. 2 days into his journey through the dense jungle, weakened by hunger and exhaustion, he stumbled upon a tiny clearing. There, sitting by a small fire and whispering prayers, was Sister Maria. Her white habit was torn, her face tired, but her eyes still held calm and kindness. Arjun blinked in disbelief. A nun? In the middle of a jungle? Maria, too, was shocked to see another human. She had been part of a medical relief group heading to a remote village when their convoy was attacked by rebels. In the chaos, she ran and lost her way. Since then, she had been surviving on wild fruits and rainwater, holding on to her faith to keep going. For a few moments, they just stared at each other. Two strangers from two completely different worlds, yet both thrown into the same cruel wilderness by fate. Arjun, trained in survival, took charge. He checked Maria's injuries, reinforced their shelter, and started a proper fire. She, in return, offered him food she had gathered and shared stories that helped him find peace amid the chaos. The days passed slowly. Every morning, Arjun scouted the area for signs of help while Maria kept the fire going and tried to keep their spirits up. At night, they sat under the stars, sharing bits of their past. Arjun spoke about his duty, his lost comrades, and the weight of war. Maria told him about the children she cared for at the orphanage, her decision to become a nun, and how she never imagined she'd be fighting to survive in a jungle. Despite their differences, a quiet bond formed between them. Arjun admired her strength. She was gentle, but not weak. She didn't complain, even when the nights were cold or the days too harsh. Maria saw beyond Arjun's tough exterior. Beneath the muscles and military discipline was a man carrying the pain of loss, a man who needed hope as much as she did. One evening, a heavy storm rolled in. Thunder cracked overhead and rain poured down in sheets. Their shelter was nearly swept away. In the chaos, Maria slipped and injured her leg. Arjun carried her to safety, using whatever supplies he could find to treat her wound. That night, by the flickering fire, Maria whispered, "Do you think God brought you here to save me?" Arjun didn't know what to say. He only knew that her presence had given him a reason to keep going. The jungle was not kind. Days turned into weeks. Food became scarcer. Wild animals lurked nearby. Once, they narrowly escaped a charging boar. Another time, they had to hide from a group of armed men passing through the area, possibly rebels. In those moments of danger, they protected each other without hesitation. What started as survival turned into trust, and trust into something deeper. One morning, Arjun climbed a tall tree to scan the horizon. Through the mist, he spotted a smoke trail far in the distance. A village, civilization. They had a chance. With renewed hope, he helped Maria walk through the thick undergrowth, guiding her every step, refusing to give up. The journey to the village was the hardest part. Maria's injury slowed them down, and Arjun, already weakened, had to carry her at times. But he never complained. They pushed through rivers, climbed hills, and finally, after 2 exhausting days, they reached the edge of a settlement. Villagers ran to help. They were taken in, fed, and given medical attention. Arjun contacted the nearest army post, and soon a rescue team arrived. But something had changed. They were no longer just a soldier and a nun. They were survivors, bonded by struggle, trust, and a silent understanding. Before parting ways, they sat quietly one last time under a tree. Arjun looked at Maria and said, "I was trained to face enemies, but I didn't expect to find my strength in someone so different from me." She smiled, eyes filled with warmth. "And I never thought the jungle would remind me how much humanity still exists, even in a soldier's heart." They went their separate paths, he back to his duties, she to her